No, this is the problem. This is where I could see how like some people who are like vloggers or travel streamers or whatever the hell they are, like once you start realizing that this could have been content, this could be content, it's just like no, you have to like draw a line in the sand and say like not everything in your life needs to be on video at all times, right?
Guess what, viewers? I had the worst curry and be broadcasting live from the bathroom. No!
Yay!
That is
courtesy
not
flush. Yeah. Courtesy flush the scene.
God.
Call back.
No.
Yep.
To an episode last year. Oh my goodness. All right, so
we've been inflicting the internet with our shit for a while now.
With our shit, we've been plastering drywall for.
Oh, jeez.
So the idea that I had for the little cold open today was it also ties into our topic, but it was a little bit of a challenge to say, should I talk about this or shouldn't I talk about this? Only because of our release schedule, and so we try to come up with cold open topics that don't really have a kind of time sensitive nature to them, for better or worse. But this one maybe is a little bit more time sensitive because it's something that I just watched today, and in the process of recording, when this comes out, it might seem a little bit dated, but. Oh man!
Is it the new Jujutsu Kaisen movie?
Oh man, no! It's so they're making a remake, I guess, or a reimagining, there is a new animated version of George Orwell's Animal Farm.
Oh no!
Okay.
Oh no! I know exactly where you're going.
It's directed by Andy Serkis. It's like I like Andy Serkis, right? He's all the stuff that he's good. He's great. He's a good actor as well.
He's the G.
And it's got Seth Rogen.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could do a Seth Rogen impression.
Okay.
And I can't. It's getting destroyed on YouTube. Like the like to dislike count. There's like 800 likes to like 9 million dislikes.
Wait, is the dislike counter back?
I have a thing on my. You can see them. You can see them.
Oh.
Yeah, on Firefox. Yeah.
Oh man.
But it's the most awful thing. It's like I feel like I'm living in the Onion sometimes, and when I watch this, I'm like, this is beyond parody. And one of the comments I can't even take credit for this, and I wish I took a note of what YouTuber said this. If you happen to be
who you are.
If you happen to be a listener, needle in a haystack, whatever. The person said, "Oh boy."
I love when the lead up is like Jay laughing for a while.
Yeah, sorry. I think we're actually at a point culturally where Anne Frank would be in Fortnite.
Oh my god. Oh my god. No, this is
yeah.
damn.
Anyway,
I'd be honored for that person to be a viewer of ours.
It makes James Corden. It makes James Corden in Cats look like high art. Like this thing is got like a twerking pig.
The twerking pig, yeah.
It's just the worst thing you'll ever see, and like it's like, did they even read the book? Anyway, yep.
They got an AI summary of it.
Yeah, it's just about a farm with animals on it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
God.
There's no other subtext.
So not even a drunk night movie.
I don't know, maybe. Who
I
knows?
mean, it shouldn't be. The original topic shouldn't be, but
who is
there's already animated idiots. The 900 people that liked it, whatever, they're gonna be the ones for it. Like, I don't know. That should be a litmus test for like if you continue to have a career in Hollywood. Like if you got that script and you said like, yeah, all right, I'll do it. Like you're not like pass. Like, all right, I have strong feelings about cinema, but that's what we're talking about today. Film, in a way, in a manner of speaking.
Appropriate.
Yeah, film week.
Film week.
Yeah. And kind of more importantly, the movies that we've watched, or that movies that we think might be able to sort of be kind of ported over into like an RPG setting, or moments from movies that you think, oh, that would be a cool thing to put into like an RPG game or something like that, right? I mean, let's face it, almost any movie out there, you can find something of value, even this terrible animated Animal Farm,
I was about to
and
say.
like and find
The
something
bones are good. The bones are good.
that you could pull off. Yeah. Yeah, Orwell spinning in his grave, but whatever. Yeah, okay. We just gotta like wash our hands of that. You know what I mean? Some movies are created equal, other movies are created.
Gotta
Anyway.
put Orwell into Fortnite.
Some movies are created more equal than others, right? Yeah. So when you heard about this topic, what was the first film or first idea that came to both of your minds?
Sandra? Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna say, to a surprising degree, horror. Like, I think I just did
Yes.
a lot of like horror, not study. Let's call it study. I feel like I had a bit of a blind spot. Worked on a project where I did perfectly fine, but I kind of got exposed to a lot more forms of horror than what I was accustomed to writing. So it kind of went on a bit of a tear, just like watching everything I could, from surreal to just body horror to like understanding all the categories. So I think a lot of my suggestions go somewhere in that realm of just fear.
You got exposed to body horror. What, did you see me naked or something?
You weren't supposed to know that.
Hey, wait, what?
Ceiling cat. No.
Yeah. How about you, Chris?
So, I looked for movies, but I didn't look for necessarily good movies. Just ones
good.
that like sparked a little interest in me. So I tried to watch as many as I could this week in preparation, and you'll see the fruits of that.
Well, I wasn't necessarily saying like the movies that you watched this week, just movies in your wheelhouse.
Oh, okay. Well, intentionally, I tried to find things this week.
In typical fashion, we all did this differently.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because, like, I don't know, I could go on and on about movies that I love, but I wanted to try something a little bit different this time.
And I do have to say that we did tackle some of our favorite things back at like episode 10. So if you wanted even more suggestions past this episode, just go backwards to Kinks and Drinks.
Yeah, good. Right. So I'm just saying, like, not movies you watched this week necessarily, but movies that when you watch them, you'd be like, oh, I want to do that in my game. That like inspire you to get to the game table, right? I mean, we have all the obvious ones, all the Star Trek, Star Wars, Indiana Jones. I mean, a lot of these have been ported over already. They have their own RPG modules that are out.
Yeah. Right?
James Bond, they're all there. These are iconic films of which, you know, should the moment you finish watching them want you to get to the table and be like, I want to play that. I want to play that scenario at my table. So hopefully, guys, you've come up with some things that are like more on the fringe, even if they're not fringe movies, but movies that like listeners might be able to take and say like, okay, that's an interesting idea. Let me see if I can bring that. Let me see if I can bring that. Let me see if I can bring that. Blah, 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 blah. So who wants to kick us off here? Because I've got loads, but I guess I'm the resident cinephile here.
I'll start off with just like of my horror picks or horror adjacent or whatnot. I think probably the easiest one to just get us started with would be Midsommar. The concept of your party, your group kind of encountering a new culture that they haven't on the map yet, and just like how cool can they act as things get weirder and weirder and weirder, and then trying to enforce that, like, no, you've got to respect, this is their customs and cultures, you're the outsider, you're the this, and then it just gets more and more and more like, should you run, should you leave right now, should you, and seeing how far you can push your table to not run when they damn well should. It's like there's so much torment to create here.
Or they can't run, but they just have to sort of like make it until morning, or like they're on a boat or a ferry or something like that. It does make a good twist to the whole like players wander into the town, you know, meet with villagers, but now things start going a little bit astray, and you find yourself in Ravenloft or something like that. And you just all you have to do is wait till the next full moon, and you can get out. And the less conspicuous you are, the more likely you are to survive, and all that kind of stuff. So you gotta kind of blend in and be invisible in plain sight type of deal. Yeah, that's really fun.
And this This was the one pick out of mine that I felt like it could go into any type of campaign. So if you have a long form one, your people are just going to wander into this place and weird stuff happens. You could do it as a one-off. You could do it as a short campaign. There's like there's so much variability with this format that anybody can use it at the right time. So yeah, the
I think a great thing what you could do is you have the players easily adapt early on. Like, okay, they get in, they find out something's weird. They know that, okay, so long as we wear these, you know, I don't know, antler helmets or something like that, nobody will notice us out of the ordinary, right? So they start doing that, but then what happens is another person enters, like another, you know, NPC that's not from around here, so to speak. They come in and they're sort of like the, you know, they're the boisterous new person that doesn't want to conform, but they realize, oh man, this guy is gonna get the axe if we don't convince them to be quiet. But if we do that, then we're outing ourselves as being like kind of like covertly here, and that could be like really fun and like really ethical, moral questions going on there. And like, do we just let him get it and like because that saves our skin and
I know, throw him under the bus. Bye, buddy.
I love the idea of it being like a low level campaign too, like really low level, and also like give them another reason to stay in that area other than just like moving on, right? Like maybe they need to research, maybe not the culture itself, but maybe something within the boundaries of that area.
Well, it's a great. It could be.
Mystery is another great like byline here with all of this. So you can make it as creepy and weird, but they also have to find something specific, and totally.
It could also be like a good prequel campaign in a way. Like, so you play that out for a few sessions, and then maybe one of the characters gets so involved in the culture that they become the new villain of the campaign, or the villain of the town introduces themselves. So you're playing the characters who, for whatever happens through their experience in this town, then now become like the antagonists of the next characters who now are less compelled to sort of blend in, as it were, or lose their soul to the corruption or something like that.
That is such a J idea.
You know, that also lends itself well to like a convention game, like where you have a bunch of pre-mates ready to go and things. I think you could have a really good time with that as well.
So I don't have a lot of horror on my list, but I do have one on my list, and one reason is that I'm definitely not a horror person. I get a little bit squeamish when it comes to that, but the one horror genre that I do have on my list is the Nightmare on Elm Street series. And I think having some sort of Freddy or Freddy adjacent baddie where the players have to continually go into the dream world, and they meet like Salvador Dali there or something like that. They get into all manner of surrealist adventures in the dream world. It could be like a really fun, just like bullet episode / you could do a whole lot with that, obviously. So that would be a fun one. But having this sort of like dream lord lurking in the background,
add some danger to those dreams, right?
Yeah, or have a campaign where if you do fall asleep, that this dream lord, this version of Freddy, like instantly kills you, and so it's like you're trying to stay alive as long as awake as long as possible, and then your sanity dripping away is like how crazy you guys are getting by staying awake longer and longer and longer. And so by the end, like you could play with like the Cthulhu element of just characters trying to stay awake and becoming more and more insane. And at the end, someone kind of relieves them of whatever infection that they've had that's making them do that. Maybe there was no kind of dream demon there all along, and it was just like a sort of some necromancer spell to get them to turn on each other as they went slowly insane or something.
Ooh, a twist.
What a twist.
Well, speaking of a twist, one of the movies that I watched this week was an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Shyamalan.
Shyamalan.
We love hate Shyamalan.
Have you guys seen the movie Knock at the Cabin?
No.
Okay.
I know of it.
Give us a quick brief, because
it's got a religious kind of subtext to it, doesn't it?
It certainly does, yes. So the basic premise, okay, spoilers, again, we'll just put that up right now. Spoilers for this movie if you ever see it. It's like there's a bunch of cultists who have a vision of the end of the world, pretty much. And these 4 cultists, they take a location hostage. So they take people hostage, saying that they need to sacrifice each other. And they have to go through these terrible rituals, all in the name of good, and eventually they start to like doubt it themselves a little bit as well, and just nobody really knows what's what. Even the cultists and the people that need to sacrifice themselves are not exactly sure what is happening. So yeah.
Okay, that's a lot of good mystery to uncover. Now, did you feel good about this movie, or like what would you change about it for a campaign?
Oh man. Okay. So there was good. There was a lot of good. There was a little bit of bad. Well, when I say a little bit of bad, I mean there was a lot of bad.
It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. You know what you're getting into.
Yeah. So some of the acting at times was here and there, but the thing is though, the idea of not knowing which is right and which is wrong, right, from both perspectives, right?
Hmm.
That creates a huge amount of suspense, and which was very, very effective in this movie. All right, so that was what I really liked about the movie: the idea that nobody really knows how this is going to end. Like the cultists were so, so focused, but at the same time, they all had their doubts. And then the people who needed to sacrifice themselves were the same way, where they were like, "No, we're not going to sacrifice ourselves." But then slowly, as things happen, Shyamalan style, right? They start to doubt themselves as well, and I just love that tension. It was great. But the
You could
ending
do
wasn't
this. You could do this with the hidden role mechanic in RPGs. You could have, and with player buy-in, of course, with the session 0. This is the kind of thing we're going to do. We're going to do the kind of classic lifeboat scenario. Oh, don't worry, we're going to reach land in a day or two. But no, we need the food. What are we going to do? Who do we throw overboard? Or we're taking on water. Blah
Yep.
blah 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 blah. These type of situations where, you know, there's people are at odds from like at a deep like moral ethical level. Like 10 Cloverfield Lane is brought to mind, a movie directed by Dan Trachtenberg of the Totally Rad show back in the day. I don't know if any listeners know that, but that was just like such a fun show. Anyway, he also did like the Predator movie, but the one before Badlands, I think it's just called Predators.
Prey?
No,
not
yes,
that one?
That's the one, yeah.
Oh.
And it's got this idea that they're in a bunker and you don't know like outside what's going to happen. Is it sort of like radioactive out there? You can't go outside of the bunker, or is this guy just kind of holding them captive, like Stockholm syndrome thing going on? And that's
Okay.
like the whole premise of the film. So you got this idea that I think what you could do is you if you have like 4 players, you give them all a different motivation, that they're all trying to like convince the other one is the right one, and maybe they don't even know that they're so correct, so that they have a little element of doubt. I played a legacy board game of House on the Haunted Hill that did this amazingly. The scenario started off and says, one of you has been infected by like this. You're the witch,
Yep.
and you're trying to kill all the other people at the table. And like next thing you know, like paranoia set in, and there's a ticking clock, and we all started killing each other. And by the end, there was 2 of us left. And it's like, you're the witch. And it's like, no, I totally know you are the witch. In the end, none of us was the witch. The game just set it up that like we had to believe that there was a witch, and then that caused the whole thing to collapse on itself. And I think that's like the kind of the premise that you're espousing here, right, Chris?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, where you're not sure what's happening, what will happen, and yeah, fun stuff. It was good build up. CG was kind of
Yeah. Okay, well let me throw out just some of my big obvious ones that people probably have already done. And if these RPGs already exist out there, listeners, please post them in the show notes. We kind of just go in here fresh and hot,
hot and fresh, like Little Caesar's pizza,
like a curry dump.
Ew! God. No.
So the first things that came to my mind, one were of course the Mad Max. A Mad Max game would just be amazing, easy, done. Especially the Fury Road and like all the newer ones, right? Colorful characters, colorful NPCs, little episodes and adventures you can go on. I mean, it's like a D&D adventure as it is. Big Trouble in Little China, of course, would be an excellent IP to play a game into.
Okay.
where the main character or hero is playing the sort of like he's actually the sidekick, but they think they're the hero and whatnot, and maybe the NPC is like the real hero, and they're just like that could be a really fun world to RPG in. And then the last one that I had that's a little bit more obvious is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Okay.
Where the characters are sort of like the children and are just trying to survive. You could do this as a dungeon crawl, and Willy Wonka is the kind of like the chatty overlord that just gets them through a series of rooms that are, in one sense, delightful, but as they are terrifying. And I've always wanted to do a session like that. And I think that could be really fun.
You throw in all the songs and things like that? Like every time someone dies?
100%.
Why 100%. Would you not? You have the opportunity. Do it.
And not even skinny it. Like set it in like like whatever the 19 teens or the 1930s or something like that, and actually have it as like Willy Wonka is Willy Wonka, and like make it him. Just make it your version of him, like how Johnny Depp made his version and Chalamet had his version and that kind of thing. But just have it set in the chocolate factory. That could be just really fun. Once those doors close, baby, you better be the one to win it. You better be the Charlie Bucket, else you kick the bucket. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Before we move too far from the concept of like the odd man out kind of style, another one was more the psychological horror that I had was Shutter Island. So again, buy-in's important. Make sure that your players know that somebody is going to be the one who's out of reality, but trying to figure out which person's actually like the person who's like, I mean, just to give a small about this movie, if anybody hasn't seen it, it's, I don't know, 10, 12, 13 years old by this point. But yeah, I think it's a bit more, like 2010 maybe. But yeah, it's just basically a story about, are you insane? Is the world insane? Who's like, who's in control of reality here? And yeah, figuring out like just through hidden roles and whatnot, who's actually the person who's going on this like reality bending adventure, and everybody else is their kind of like tender or gatekeeper or whatnot. Could be a lot of fun. I see that definitely as a shorter campaign or a one-off, but that could be an incredible amount of fun to find out who's actually the person who's not in the bounds of reality at the end.
I think an easy buy-in could be to simply set up that you'll know the setting. Okay, maybe it's an insane asylum in the 40s or wherever you want to set it. It's in the jungles of northern Vietnam, and then you say one of you is going to not know what the twist is, and the rest of you are going to know what the twist is.
Oh, okay, really?
And the conceit is then like you're basically revealing the curtain. So okay, if they're in this jungle in North Vietnam, you realize that no, they're not actually in a jungle. It's wherever they really are. They know the twist at the end, and then they know who the person who doesn't have that information, and they're trying to sort of like slowly let them know what it is without letting them go completely mad.
So you let the players know this beforehand. You don't like hand out cards and be like, "You're the one that doesn't know," right? Right? You would set this up like in a call with the individual players first.
I think you would hand out cards, and maybe you hand out cards that like slowly drip the information to the players, and then at a certain point, let's say you have 3 cards, all of which have, to the player's knowledge, different information. To your knowledge, the same information. And then you give them a little bit of the what is the world that you're living in. You give them a little bit more information at the time. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, but it could be similar, right? And then like 20 minutes into the campaign, you give them another card that's more information about another thing, the next scene that they're about to go into. And then the third one, you give them another bit of information. That's the third thing. But then slowly, one of these bits of information starts to kind of break off from the reality. of it, and then that makes that person start to think like, no, it's this one. Like you're reading your thing wrong, and like that starts to plant a seed of like suspicion into the group until slowly that one person doesn't realize that they've been getting this false information the whole time, even from the first one, because it's ambiguous enough. You know, this person is the doctor. Okay, but what does the doctor mean? It's the doctor that's trying to keep you from hurting yourself because blah 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 or whatever, right? The doctor is just trying to get you to take your medication, right?
No, I can see how that could work now. Yep.
All right, Chris, do you have any other films?
So one thing that I decided that I want more of are badass elders.
And hippos as bartenders.
Wow.
Badass elders.
Badass elders?
Yep, badass elders. So the movie that
like
I watched...
Bob Barker from Happy Gilmore or whatever?
No, I watched... As per your recommendation, I watched SISU yesterday.
Oh, that was on my list too! That was on my list! Yay!
So what I want more badass elders. Old people don't get enough credit for being badass. Yeah, so like you have like you mentioned Mad Max, right? Fury Road, the Vulvalini, the Many Mothers.
Mm-hmm.
When they came out, I was like, yes, I haven't seen this in a while.
It's the coolest thing, yeah.
Right? Or like Silver's Rayleigh from like One Piece, or Clint Eastwood in every movie that he is in past like 50.
Yeah,
right.
You could take the SISU scenario cold cloth and just port it over into an F20 game, easy peasy.
Yeah, no, we gotta be old people.
you gotta be older, yeah, and make it hard, right? And there's just like some sort of mechanic where like if you take so much damage, then you sort of like berserk out, and you're gonna get like a little bit. You get like superpowers after you've taken a certain amount of damage, because he gets his his ass kicked like multiple scenes during that movie, right? And so that could be part of the dynamic of the game. It seems like it could be a one-off as well, like just like a game with DM and player, like a 2-player game, which could be really fun.
No, because most of the people I know that I've recommended it to don't know about this movie. We should probably give just the tiniest bit of an explanation of what we're talking. Basically, one-man wrecking crew takes on the Nazis as they're retreating from Finland, and there's a bit of a like. You start out being like, oh, okay, this is just like a direct realistic kind of action movie, but then it starts taking on an almost legendary quality to it. Yes. That he starts doing things and achieving things that are like, this could be cheese, but it's told in such an amazing way that you're like, oh no, this guy's legend now, and this is his legend.
It gets you there.
Highly recommend. Hopefully SISU 2 is great too. We're all kind of like, please be good. But yeah, definitely just take the format and run with it. That would be a pretty easy one to port.
But I believe it's sort of, it says at the beginning of the movie that SISU is the Finnish word that's translated as like stoic determination or tenacity and grit and whatnot. And that could be a really interesting thing to then port over. Don't take just that word. Take like, some word for fear or some word for whatever, like an emotion, and then try to make the entire campaign just focus on like this one emotion. This is the emotion that it is. This
embodiment.
The embodiment of this emotion, which is joy or friendship or hate or fear or whatever, unctuousness or whatever the hell you want to do, right? Yeah. I did choose 2 that were my sort of like non-stop action style campaigns, where you just like right off the bat you just begin with the battle sequence, and then don't end until the end of the night, right? Just go like full on battle. And you'd have to have like a tight
no bathroom breaks,
sequence.
No anything.
I think well that's a little bit obsessive. Everyone wear your Depends at the table, or no one's leaving.
Like real gamers.
I don't think it would necessarily work for like an F20 system, but because like at the end you might be a little bit tired. But if you're fast and loose with your combat, it could work. This is like following the movies like The Raid, or Crank, or Crank 2. So you have a system in which the players or player characters have to continually have like this bloodlust and continually be in a state else, like whenever every scene that they're not making an attack roll, they're losing hit points, kind of thing, and they've got to continually be kind of like moving, going, and like getting out of the dungeon while they kind of maintain this forward momentum. That could be a blast, man.
What?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
All right, I love it.
Non-stop pulpiness.
Especially for like a time-limited game. What an amazing thing to do. Yeah.
Moving on to some more categories of film that I think would be great for doing in an RP. We did a session a while back about historical gaming, and I thought, why not, if players who want to try historical gaming but feel a little bit intimidated as to which historical setting they can do, here's two film options for you. One is Das Boot, and the second one is To Live, which is a 1994 Chinese film. But I have different reasons for choosing both of these movies. The first one, Das Boot, is one, you play U-boat officers, and going over a series of missions during World War II. What you could do with this why do this in a like historical or semi-historical fashion is, gaining the perspective of the other, right? Finding a historical narrative that you and your players are interested in, taking the opposite side that you think you'd be on, and having the players do that. It builds empathy, and it could be a really interesting kind of like lesson in, okay, what actually did happen at this battle that now we were playing a sort of fictional kind of corner of that battle, and that could be really fun. For To Live, it would be the sense of, in this story, it follows a kind of Chinese family through basically 40 years of Chinese history, where you just take you could take the same beat points that happen from this movie, or take any part of history that you like and go through a series of big beats. You go through the civil rights, you go through the 60s, you go through the 70s, the 80s, and to the 90s, and you're just hitting these kind of moments of interest that then end with something like really profound. You know what I mean? Let's say you follow this family that leads up to like the 2001, and then next thing you know, they find out that they're in like the World Trade Center or something like that. And I'm not even making a joke about this. I think that could be like a really kind of profound RPG experience where your characters sort of lived this life and kind of like gone from childhood, like in the 60s, and growing up to the 80s, and then doing all this kind of stuff, and then that's where you end. Right, you end at this like tragic moment, or end at this like moment of history where it's like whoa, and then like it has your table just like in silence after the session is done, and it could be amazingly profound and beautiful in a way.
Yeah.
So those are two of my historical options, right? Let's say a player doesn't have that kind of interest in history. When they're done playing that game, they sure as hell might, if you do it right, when they sit down and they go, okay, let me go look up some of the things or some of the characters that we met along the way. You kind of meet these historical figures that are sort of like in the periphery that people might know about, but might not know. Like, who was the Secretary of State in 1983 or something like that. But they happen to meet this person, right? Now they go up and this person did something really unique that the DM kind of researches and finds that out. And that can be really fun, really exciting.
Yeah, I feel like that definitely happened during our Delta Green little break that we took. Like I was like pulling up all these Wikipedia articles after, like, oh my god, that's really really crazy. I like wove that in and did this. So yeah, if you have even just the slightest bit of interest in history, those kind of campaigns definitely will spark it.
The way the designers who write the Delta Green scenarios, they do that intentionally as well. So like that you're on this street or you're in this hotel that like maybe it doesn't exist anymore, or maybe it doesn't, and you start like, oh, we talked to that guy, but then you realize that they particularly choose people that have these little gaps in their histories where they did something a little bit weird, or this guy was like we found out that he was a spy during the Vietnam era, but then like for these 2 years they kind of don't know what happened to him, and turns out he was like on this campaign with your players, and it's just
it's kind of cool.
Makes it feel really good when you go look at it and you're like, what? And it gets in your head, man.
Yeah, you get that like reality break for a moment. It's like, oh, okay. I didn't really go down the history line for this particularly. I might be taking this in a slightly like weird direction, but I think I went on a bit of a bender for A24 movies this year.
You did.
So The Witch wound up on my list. So you
The
can
Vavitch.
go The Vavitch, yes. The
Vavitch.
Vavitch.
It's a great movie.
So, you know, again, back into the horror dipping in there, but the historic side of it too. The way that you could just really like turn up the fear angles, the tension, like have all your, like if you're playing in person or even if you're playing online, just have everybody turn the lights down, you know, maybe try to bring in the ambiance, like, okay, if you can, just candles only, to try to bring in that kind of like the unexplored territory is going to close in on you and just devour you in this like unknown land,
like 10 candles, or
exactly.
Have players play as women during the Salem witch trial, and you start off the campaign with them already being kind of like deemed as witches, and now they're trying either to like, well, they can't just like pick up and leave, right? So you're kind of like either trying, do you stay and convince people, do you leave? You've got like a women talking situation here potentially, and then as you blow out
my mind too.
as you blow out the candles, you realize that, okay, when the last candle's blown out, you've been caught, right? And every failed roll, you blow out a candle or something like that. So it's taking the 10 candles concept, but making it more original, and not more original, it's a very original game, but making it different, and homebrewing
in a different direction. Yeah.
And now the other thing I had, because also like playing horror as like the victim potentially, or your players as the potential victims, you could flip it and have them be the evil people. Like instead of it being like a settler family against nature and whatever's lurking in the woods, have your people be the ones in the woods going after these settlers, but like make it a village instead. How many of them can you corrupt? If you can't corrupt them, what do you do with them? But these people have invaded your territory. What are you going to do with them? And then make a whole mythos around that. I also had that idea for SISU, that you could actually be instead playing kind of like the Nazis trying to mess with the local population. But that's a little less fun than I think than this particular one, where you're like, you know, this is your territory. What do you do with them? You know, kind of thing.
Certainly a hard take on the play the villains campaign or something like that, but which I'm not sure a lot of players would find comfortable. But
holding my tongue earlier.
Well, it depends. It depends. Like if you have a very historic forward group, they might want to kind of explore those kind of themes and get a deeper empathy for not the Nazis, but like you know what that time period could have felt like a bit more. So it definitely a very specific case for that one. But
I play a lot of Avalon Hill and now GMT Hex Encounter board games, Compass games, things like that, and a lot of these games are set in World War II, obviously.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone in the German army was not a Nazi, and you play as the German army, and that's like going back to Das Boot. It's like getting a historical perspective from a non-conventional side, right? Moving on, I some other options that I've had was to, you know, the topic was film. How do we make film? How do we port film into D&D? How do we take these ideas, take these scenes, take these concepts? I said, why don't you make an RPG game based around the making of film? So the two movies that I want to reference here are one, Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Oh yeah.
Ed Wood. And so in a way the GM becomes Ed Wood, and all the players around the table are playing in a B movie. And so you're playing a B movie campaign. With all like the props are cardboard and the walls break down, and like that could just be so much fun, right? And then the other one being Hail Caesar by the Coen brothers, or like Blazing Saddles in a sense, especially the ending of Blazing Saddles, where the characters sort of like move through various genres, like they're on an MGM lot trying to just kind of discover this plot that then has all these like method actors who are like in the Western voice, in the sci-fi voice, and like each scene can become like a totally different genre, and they kind of like gotta go walk on set, and now they're doing and having to interrogate this actor who's in like an alien costume, and then the next one they've got to interrogate like Dracula, and then the next one they've got to interrogate Godzilla, and but it's like it's all on the lot, and it's like it could be like a pulpy kind of Chinatown noir story in the background with these sort of like little vignettes of going like, okay, you got to talk to this guy, but he's a real prima donna actor. Go here. Oh, this is the synchronized swimming scene that you've got to do. Roll your swim checks or whatever. You know what I mean? And it could just be so much fun. I'd love to play. I want to play it right now.
Yeah.
So wait, are the players aware that they're on these sets?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it sounds like the deeper you get in there, the better your chances of solving whatever this mystery or whatnot is.
Yeah.
You come in as a CIA, but you gotta try to get these artists to give up their whoever they're hiding. So you got to kind of talk to them on their level, as it were, or whatever. If you wanted to go full on with that, you just do something like Quantum Leap, which is the bridge between historical and kind of period fiction. Just have a bullet episodes where every episode you're in a new time period and you got to do X, whatever it is, to stop something historical from happening, or to make sure something from history happens, so that therefore you kind of leap out. Because if it doesn't happen, you know what I mean, then worse things kind of happen, and that is like a real oh man, like I don't want to do
Time
this.
unfolds. Yeah, a lot of butterflies.
I think we were sharing a brain cell on this one, Jay, because I had one that took like a Hallmark holiday movie on the front end, and then just have reality break bit by bit by bit as they're going through this ranch romance kind of thing until it turns into a full blown dark horror. So, you definitely had more of a I feel like again yours is a bit more long form. You could do a lot more jumps into different genres and things like that with your idea, and I really do want to play your idea, where mine just seemed like it was a shorter form version of that. Yeah,
I want to design this game. I guess I kind of sort of did. Development Hell is a game that developed by Sneaky Games, written by me, where you basically are trying to make a good movie, but the game makes it almost impossible for you to make a good movie, such that you're kind of stuck in development hell forever, trying to create this film. On the same note of Plan 9 from Outer Space would be to do a game that is a spoof movie. Like you're doing Spaceballs, Naked Gun,
kind of where Airplane.
The airplane, yes. The point, so a lot of times when you're playing a horror game or just any RPG game, characters will make silly comments that then kind of breaks the flow and immersion of the horror. But in this case, the point is to be hilarious. And so the jokes become the game. And so you're playing a comedy RPG game that's meant to every action you've got to make some sort of a little pun or something silly, and just make the game Naked Gun. Oh, I pull out a sword that's 2 times too big or whatever the hell it is. You know what I mean? Just something silly.
Oh God, that sounds so fun.
It would be so fun.
God,
it would be so fun.
We gotta do that.
Might be a little bit difficult, I'll be honest.
Naked Gun, the RPG game. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I should design that.
And where comedy is your currency. All right. I watched a movie called Dave Made a Maze. No?
M-A-I-Z-E? He grew corn?
Mice.
Mice?
Mice souffle.
Okay.
No,
all right.
So Dave, he made a maze. Basically, someone creates this dungeon or creates this maze, eventually gets lost in it, right? And then asks for help. And then when others enter, they realize that the mazes start to grow even beyond what Dave's intentions were. So that was kind of the concept of this movie. But it was kind of the whole thing was in cardboard, right? So he made a maze out of cardboard. And then eventually it becomes almost what are those called? Extra dimensional space where it becomes a huge maze, even though it's in the middle of his living room.
Oh, sounds fascinating.
So yeah, it just...
I've never heard of this movie.
I've never heard of this either, yeah, but it sounds great. Okay, so you got your classic, Minotaur in the maze kind of scenario.
There's a Minotaur in the maze in this movie as well.
So. Oh, there you go.
That all made of cardboard and everything, right? So in the movie, if you die, you just become part of the maze itself, right? Your neck gets cut and a silly string and a yarn comes out of all your pores and things like that. So
that's fun.
Incredibly silly, right? origami creatures attack you and things like that. But also it's like a step into Dave's mind, because all of the different areas are related to part of his past and part of his what he values and things like that. So it's kind of neat in that way. Not a very well-known movie, but yeah, I don't know how I ran into it.
Interesting.
I'm weirdly reminded of like Be Kind Rewind with like Jack Black and Mos Def, where they kind of have like a VHS store, but they ended up going on these little adventures, and it's all sort of like, is it reality, or are they kind of just like too much into cinema that they kind of get lost in their own imaginations and stuff like that? And yeah, that kind of stuff can be really, really fascinating. I don't remember it being an actually a rather good movie, but like for some reason it's come to mind. It probably is totally different, but yeah, Dave Builds a Maze. How very interesting. I definitely have to check that out. I would have thought, Chris, that you would have brought, as like the anime guy, kind of brought up a few kind of anime that you think that the players should play in.
Well,
is that too low hanging fruit?
Well, a lot of people already kind of do that. They'll play in like the Naruto world or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like certainly, I could do a whole campaign in the One Piece world because I know it so well, right? And that itself is extremely interesting. But I didn't have any of that planned. I was trying to go for things that you guys have never heard of or never seen. So that's where I was headed this time. But yeah, I could certainly do like a whole episode on One Piece, maybe just by myself. Just go on.
But yeah, I think like the people interested in exploring like sort of like the Ghibli films. The first thing that comes to mind would be Spirited Away. Like a RPG set in the Spirited Away world would be amazing.
So there is one already made though called Obojima.
Oh,
right,
brilliant!
And that's someone who, huge Ghibli fan. They've kind of found a way to incorporate all the main Ghibli elements into an RPG system. So yeah, definitely check it out. I myself haven't played it, but I'd be very interested in trying it. So yeah, I love.
Well, and certain Ghibli movies like Majo no Takubin, Kiki's Delivery Service in English, is just sort of like these little slice of life films that not a lot of kind of dramatic tension happens, but so much happens, and that would be really interesting to try to kind of like skin onto like an RPG world. And I do believe there are a few, which the names escape me at the moment, where the purpose of the RPG is just maintaining this idea of joy and friendship throughout. There's a lot more of these that are starting to develop with contemporary RPG design that goes away from like, okay, RPG means like killing stuff basically.
Yes.
And so this is like a really kind of, it shows how the art form is kind of maturing and moving towards new ideas.
Any of us tried any of these?
I know a few female DMs who are kind of dabbling in this realm right now. So really? I'll reach out to them and drop some suggestions into the comments as well. It's just wonderful because you're bringing in a whole nother set of audiences that know maybe didn't think that they liked TTRPG because they're not into like Sword and Board and things like that, or horror or whatnot. So yeah, it's definitely spidering out in the best possible way.
I mean, to that end, players who are familiar with RPGs that are solely based on kind of dungeon delving, combat, exploration, blah, 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 that are interested in doing a game that is more about kind of friendship and love and romance and all this kind of stuff. Maybe a movie that they can sort of port over would be like the Paddington movies, and playing a game... Okay. Yeah. Like where you're the family and like the NPC is Paddington or vice versa, whatever. And in those movies there are elements of drama, but it's sort of like family fun drama. It's never kind of like edge of your seat, white knuckled drama. And so you can still do these moments of like, make a train heist sequence, but make it sort of like more of a caper or something a little bit silly with like, what are you trying to steal? The pillows off of the bed, or, and that could be like just a really fun and really charming kind of evening of gaming, I think.
And it's kid friendly. So if I feel like a lot of people fall off the bandwagon of TTRPG when they have kids. And, that's a good way to bring your kids into it as soon as they're ready to, flex their imaginations with the group.
When I was teaching English in Japan, there was a bunch of two brothers. I used to play kind of like RPG like games. They all had their stats and things like that, but it always ended up being like they wanted to like own casinos and things like that, and all these Roblox like related things. And there was like no real combat or anything. But it was all just these ridiculous things where they just wanted to beat up, not physically beat up, but like beat down like the casino owner. It was just
break his ankles.
Wow.
No physical. They just wanted to make him lose all of his money and things like
Give
that.
him
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was just low stakes things. Well, not low stakes for him, but no actual violence in it because they were 7 and 8.
I'm gonna throw in my last one that didn't get really tapped. More of an honorable mention, keeping with the lighthearted theme. Any of the drunk movie night movies, like I had Moonfall here. Like, do just
Moonfall.
like climate change, try to save some portion of the world, kind of, and just make it cheesy. Make it so cheesy. Lean
like
into it.
The 2010 or what was it, 2012 or what was that one? Like the Mayan calendar one.
Oh yeah.
Like that kind of like those they call them like paniku eiga in Japanese. It's like panic movies.
Yeah.
There's just about movies going like, like run over here and run over here and like do that kind of thing. That's kind of RPG already in it.
Yeah, totally. And it lets you just be silly. It's like you don't have to do the super serious like save the world. No, the world's gonna burn. Just find your place in it and do your thing.
Yeah. So I've another kind of genre that we haven't quite mentioned yet. We talk about kind of kids movies and things like that, but I think more players should experiment with sort of any type of sort of scenario in which players play anthropomorphized characters. So you're playing like the Finding Nemo RPG, or like the Bambi RPG or something like that. All the furries are like, we already do.
Yeah.
Duh.
Groundbreaking, Jay.
Right? Yeah, no, but like play fish, for a scenario or something like that. We played I did play an RPG where everyone had to play cats. And it was fucking hilarious. Like watching, like me and my friend were like Siamese cats, and we were rolling all over the sofa by the end of it. It's the funnest thing. So playing as anthropomorphized animals. I don't have to say that like to the furry community, they already know, and they're like they've been shouting from the rooftops that why aren't more people doing this? It's amazing. But yeah, some love to the furry community from the 3RPG podcast here.
And there's so many movies that you could use based off of that too, because like Secret of NIMH, right? Like 101 Dalmatians, right? Like
all dogs go to heaven.
So many.
Okay.
I think I mentioned before, like the Brave Little Toaster, right?
The Brave
Things
Little
like that.
Toaster, yes, Jesus. Playing anthropomorphized appliances would be awesome for a game. Yeah. I'm an ottoman.
Well, we kind of had that in that one Enclave game, right? A moving ottoman.
A moving ottoman, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, another genre that I've talked about previously that I still want to do, and probably it's like percolating in the back of my mind as a future Kickstarter / RPG game that I'm going to make, is an RPG game based upon musicals. That has like dance numbers, musicals, and like the movie Baby Driver, where the soundtrack beats kind of hit with the sort of like the way it's edited and the way it's cut, and so like in the way the car will move and turn along with the soundtrack. It's brilliant.
Oh my
God. It's not the best movie in the world, but like it's such an ambitious idea of Edgar Wright, of course. Famous for Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, because he's the one that directed it. If I got all my old university musical theater buds together, like where you have to sing and you have to play music and you have to play instrumental music where you come up with, and like if you've got enough improv experience, you can make songs where you rhyme and you make lyrics up as you go, or you just you express your actions in song. and in between rolling dice, but you have to, and this kind of forces players to sort of do their moves in time with the musical, not only in game, but like in the fantasy of the game, but over the table on a meta level. So you're rolling dice, and you got to roll dice in rhythm, and then find
that.
number, and that could be so fun. It's like a rhythm game, but an RPG,
Oof.
right? How fun would that be, man? And I think intentionally, almost like all of my combat, I try to do that anyway. When I put like on an action music, I'm always like, I kind of want the player to like kind of quickly say your answer before this little moment in the soundtrack happens, because it's going to be epic.
Okay, yeah.
I saw Chris shaking his head, and I'm like, Chris, the reason is because you don't drink. With enough alcohol, anybody can do this. It's just inhibition. It's honestly just inhibition.
I don't know. It seems like that would be really tough. You'd have to find definitely the right group for that.
Pick me. I'm in.
Can I watch? I want to watch this thing.
You pervert.
You pervert? Yeah, we always knew it. Chris just wants to watch. Oh my god, I was just doing like a Jeremy Irons from the D&D movie.
Oh yeah, you did. Oh.
Oh my god, I've been possessed. Okay, I have two more, but do you have any? I think Sandy, you said that was your final one. Chris?
I saw a short film called Tsumiki no Ie, the House of Small Cubes. Have you guys heard of this?
Nope.
No. Mm-mm.
It won an Oscar, I think, in 2009. But it's a short film just about like a man living in a house, but then I guess every generation the I guess the water level rises, and he has to build a new house on top of his old house, right? And then so like I guess every like 15 years he has to build a new floor because the water just keeps on rising, and every house needs to do this, right? And one time he loses his pipe and it falls into the middle hole where he fishes, right? But then every floor has that middle hole, and it just keeps on going all the way down to the bottom. So he decides to go and retrieve it, and in doing so he kind of relives his life. Kind of seeing all the different parts of his life from all the different generations and things like that. And I just love that idea of having like history on top of history on top of history, and the further down you go, you get to see more of the memories, more of the descent is the trip backwards through time, pretty much. So that's I thought maybe there could be a neat little, maybe make a dungeon out of that, or just like how the world works, that like just the further down you go, you get to see more of where you came from, pretty much.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. A good way to like skin the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and that every level deeper you go, it's like a level that's been built on top of a level previous or something like that.
Yeah.
And so actually the deepest level is the one that was built first rather than the other way around.
Yep.
And that could be really fun kind of twist on the thing. Yeah. All right. So the final two that I have kind of up for the slate, one of which is more obvious than the other. So I'll start with that one. And when I say the movie, you're going to be like, of course, but maybe I've got a little bit of a twist on it. And it's not because of the more recent adaptations. This is the movie The Wizard of Oz. And I think this would be, I mean, it's obvious that this is, if it doesn't exist already, it should be an RPG game. And it's not because of the new Wicked movies, which they're not for me.
Surprise.
What? Really?
And I like musicals. Yep. Anyway, you play this with 4 players. One person's Dorothy. The other 3 people are the companions, right? The Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion. You stat them out. You play the original Wizard of Oz as is, to introduce the characters. What happens is the player, because you're playing the movie as is, but you're role playing it now, the characters are already going to take on a new persona just based on the fact that you're trying to relive a scene, but you're going to take on these small characteristics of who's playing the character that's playing the character. And then as you kind of like introduce each of the three characters, like, okay, now we find the Tin Man who's all rusted up, and you give him the oil can, play the music, do the thing. Next one. But in the background, a new thing is going to come up, like new interactions between the players, right? Everyone's got their dump stat. The Scarecrow doesn't have the intelligence, et cetera, right? And then you get to Oz, and now you take it. Now the stuff that's been happening in the background, now expand on that, and make the whole little side quest that Dory has to go on to like go fight the Wicked Witch of the West and throw water on her, and make that all new. It still could be the Wicked Witch of the West, but now make something else happen. You've reached the charlatan wizard. Maybe he's evil. Maybe he's more chaotic than he is in the thing. And now make a twist. But you everything up to that point is just Wizard of Oz. But you're setting up you're setting up these little scenes that are safe for later when it becomes like, wait, what? I can't get home, and it's all about just getting Dorothy home. Getting Dorothy home. And it's just like, how can she get home? Oh, it's like those, all you gotta do. No, she gets her legs sawn off by the Wicked Witch of the Southwest.
How do you get home? How do you get home? You need to sacrifice the lion. You're like, what the?
Oh, jeez.
So I think that could be a really interesting twist. Get the wheelies up in there and stuff. Get the Emerald, the Goblin King from the Return to Oz. Get all those characters. The woman who takes her head off, put different heads on and stuff like that. Put all the stuff from the Frank Oz books out there, and like start throwing all this wild stuff in there. Put Alice from Alice in Wonderland. She's like, what are you doing here? it could be a blast. It could be a blast. Like break open Oz. Oz could be a fun world to roleplay in, and I want to run that game.
Wow.
Okay. Right? See, start with Wizard of Oz, turn it into something new.
Okay.
I mean, this did work for Dimension 20, so they did have a fairy tale reimagined thing that's really popular and really good. So, absolutely works. Go ahead and borrow that.
So my final recommendation, and it's the thing that I've been just like obsessing over the last year, is the Chair Company. And I think that the Chair Company can be the perfect game for like a fiasco playset, or just a set where it's just like, it's about just like growing paranoia and madness and a bunch of people with like huge ambitions that just kind of crash and burn. You've got all these just like, I mean, that's not necessarily what happened in the Chair Company, but like I'm drawing from kind of the ideas of fiasco, is you have these characters who just kind of like introduce all these other unique elements. Chris, you're raising your hand. You've not seen it. Nor has Sandra.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, I've at least seen he's at his limit.
He's at his limit. Yeah. It's kind of really hard to explain, but listeners are probably going like they're punching the roof of their cars on their commute to work while they're listening. They're like, yes, of course, this is the best thing ever. Making a RPG in the Chair Company universe, or the I Think You Should Leave universe, needs to be made. It needs to be made now. Budding designers out there, do it. Man, this episode had legs, baby, and that's mostly me. If people don't like my voice, they're gonna have a bad time.
Don't worry, they've already dropped off.
Oh, God. Ouch! Ow, burn!
What, by now? He's like, now I got right up to this episode, whatever number of episode this is. It's like, you know what? I'm just tired of this J guy now. No.
This was the straw.
We just need to like timestamp the episode to be like J not J, J not J.
Jeez.
It's gonna be like a Patreon option, J not J version.
Yeah, well, it'll be a lot easier from next week because it'll be not Sandra for the entire episode.
See, he normally threatens my character. Today he threatened me.
We can't end like this. We can't. This is a cheerful episode about movies and drama.
God. No, this is great. This is totally us. This is hilarious.
For fuck's sake, Chris, help!
Yeah, you're wholesome. Come on, it's what you do. We're from New Jersey.
The last thing I had was about A Quiet Place 2.
Ciao.
we could end it right there.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Yeah, having players be quiet the entire time. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, that could be part of it. I was wondering if there was a way you could make that into some sort of gimmick. Like, a lot of these current horror games are utilizing, microphones as part of the detection gimmick for their games now.
Mm-hmm.
Is that even possible for like a live or online game? Is it? Would you?
I have an idea.
There you go. Okay, go.
You set down a small kind of square of felt fabric on the table that all die rolls have to happen on. And if the die roll rolls off the felt onto the table, doesn't matter if it's a success, it's a failure. No. The thing that you were trying to do, like you were trying to kind of like repair like the light system that had gone on the fritz or whatever. So you roll your mechanics check, you've passed it, but the roll went off. But that means it's now triggered aliens combat encounter.
Additionally, there are different sizes of felt. Yeah.
Awesome, right? That's a game.
Love it.
Oh,
Love it.
This is a really hard one. Okay, here's your felt.
Yeah. Wheat. A little tiny piece.
Now roll a D100 on top of it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, boom.
But that was only part of it, though. The other part of it was so the creatures in that movie, right? A Quiet Place, they're called like the Death Angels or whatever, right? And
really?
What I find kind of interesting about them is that we don't really know what their motive is for the movie, right? Like they just kill everything, but they don't eat the people, right? And they have kind of like a maw, kind of like whatchamacallit, like a venom, right? Where it's just like a jagged teeth, endless rows of jagged teeth. But what do they eat? What are they doing?
Building up the lore could be really fun because the monsters in the Quiet Place are probably the worst part of the Quiet Place. Second to the child from the first movie, who's the worst. Who's the hero of the second one? But after the whole like oh, it's not my fault, is it? No, it's totally your fault.
No, it is.
Everything is like...
But where I was going, where I was going with this is that sometimes it's kind of cool not knowing why.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because like we don't know what they're doing there. Like, were they sent beforehand to destroy everything on the planet, or like why were they sent? What happened? What are they after? You don't know. We never find out in that movie, and that's kind of cool.
No, it's totally cool. This is why I can't stand this trend that I think has gone the wayside, thankfully, of making these prequel movies where it's like, hey, by the way, do you want to know where Indiana Jones got his whip or Han Solo got his vest? No, I don't care where he got his vest. It could be from the Walgreens for all I give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just here for the free air conditioning. All right, guys, we gotta get out. This episode is going way too long, but I'm sure hopefully this will be an episode that a lot of viewers are listening to, and they're like, no, but what about this movie? What about this movie? This is another one. This is another one. I'm like, put those comments down in the show notes. Let us know the movies that you think that we should watch. I mean, I love films, and I probably have seen them already. We'll engage with you and talk about how we can take those over and make them into RPG games. But until that happens, that will be enough for today's episode. Curtain call. I'm getting the vaudeville cane to pull me off. The curtain comes down. That's all, folks. And that's been another week of the 3RPG podcast. My name is John Underwood.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Sandra Rosner.
See ya!
Ciao!
Bye!
Ciao!
The 3RPG podcast is produced and performed by Sandra Rosner, Chris Takasaki, and Jay Underwood. Music and audio editing, mix, and master is done by Jay Underwood. Art by Chris Takasaki. If you'd like to be a guest on the show or have any questions, please email us at 3rpgpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to support the 3RPG podcast, please visit our Patreon or visit our website at www.3rpg.com. That is THREERPG.com.